Wanderers, welcome to the Friday Variety Show, brought to you by K&J Insurance. The presenting sponsor of this episode of the Wondering Dutchmen podcast is brought to you by our buddies Kyler Henry and John Voiles and the rest of the folks at K&J Insurance. Over at K&J Insurance, they do more than just sell insurance. They work to craft personalized plans of protection. K&J covers all personal insurance, including the major insurance needs such as home, auto, renters, motorcycle, off-road, and RV insurance. But they don't stop just there. They can also insure your business. You think K&J are done with personal and business insurance needs? Heck no, they aren't. Kyler and John can get you set up with any necessary Medicare plans and life insurance you may need. Talk about a one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Their office is located right next door to us in Petersburg, and you can check out their website, kjinsurance.net, or give them a call today, 812-809-4452.
The Wondering Dutchmen podcast,
where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchman. Yeah. The Wondering Dutchman. Yeah.
Wanderers, it's time!
Yeah.
For the Friday Variety Show, Season 2, Episode 56, coming to you from Smoker's Lounge. A big thank you to K&J Insurance and our buddy Kyler Henry for bringing this Friday Variety Show. Sitting across from me, sporting the Indiana Hoosiers. Hoosiers. It's our buddy, Big Mace.
Hola.
Sitting there in the middle with no rose-colored glasses because either somebody stole them or he lost them. We don't know, but we're going to find out. Wearing the turquoise turtle and the sleeveless shirt showing off the guns. It's our buddy, Smoke Dragon.
Hello.
And we are off to a good start.
Here we go.
I am Esquire. Welcome to the show. We appreciate having you. If you listened to Wednesday's episode, well, thank you. Today is the Friday Variety,
Put your
where we
nips
talk
up.
about a little bit of everything. And if you're watching on YouTube, our apologies. Yeah, Smoke, we're here in the lounge tonight. The missus was out here and just left. You're a little sad about that. But kind of give us just a brief life update that you didn't talk about on the Wild Wednesday show, Wondering Wednesday show. But you want to share with us now here in this ice cold opener.
Well, it's been a tough week. We lucked out, my wife and I, and the youngsters stayed with Meemaw and Peepaw on Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Gary Giesler.
I'm just going to go sneak over here and ask Jenna how her day's going, is what I thought I was going to do.
At 6 a.m.
So I snuck right over to ask her how her day was going to go and ask her what she had planned for the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be god danged if I didn't pull a muscle in my neck.
Cricked her up, huh?
And until today, I haven't even, I've been doing the whole full body, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, oh, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't turn the neck much more than a couple degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally come out of it and had to pick up a cabinet from a friend of the program. Maybe I shouldn't mention names, but Jenna's got a friend, family friend, I guess, and I went over there and picked up a cabinet from this place, put it in the truck, got home, and it was too tall to fit in the garage door.
Mm-hmm.
So I put her on the old two-wheel dolly.
Uh-huh.
And I lean her down, and I try to walk it in, and I hit the garage door. So I back her up, and I drop her down, and I pull her in, and I hit the garage door.
You
And
hit the garage door.
Well, the top, like the door opening. So now I got a hitch in my giddy up from bringing in the missus's cabinet. It's like a 9-foot cabinet and a 7-foot door is a problem.
Is that why it looks like a styrofoam bomb?
Well, William is the reason.
Yeah.
They were full pieces, but he has turned them into small little particles.
I went to snag a cooler for our evening's refreshments, and I noticed that it looked like there was a.
Well, Will Billy Deluxe don't give a shit.
Yeah, it looked like a 7-year-old boy was making a little.
Yep, he told me, he's like, Dad,
Rat's
I think
nest.
it's probably fast if you pick him up like this. And he picked up 2 or 3 of them in like a
Blocks.
stack, and he walked them in, and he put them in the box. He said, but it's funner if you pick them up like this. And he picked up one of them, and he just smashed the out of it.
Yeah,
That's
those little.
helpful.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
That's helpful. Big fella?
I've had a shit week. It's been rough. Yeah, a lot of emotions, a lot of trials and tribulations have been going on.
I hate that for you, brother.
Yeah, it's been really rough, man. But we'll get into it after the ice cold opener. But we will. We're going to make it.
There we go. It's fair week here in Du Bois County. So when you're listening to it, the fair was last
Oh,
week.
yeah, pitching small children out of things.
Well, and you know what? Who came to the rescue?
Our buddy
Justin
Justin
Reed.
Reed with Jumping Jacks.
Entertainment.
That's right.
Ain't no carnies at Jumping Jacks.
No, sir.
No, top flight operation
Exactly,
there.
man. They
And,
don't mess around.
We were down. We took the kids on Wednesday night of what is last week as you're listening to this. And if you're listening, they're not listening to it now, Dave, when we're recording this. But
Right, but they might
You know
later.
where I'm at on the time
Yeah, they could listen
flux
later.
capacitor thing. But so we went down, and I told the missus that, we ought to go down and visit and support because Justin's been a part of this show, him and his lovely bride.
Yeah,
And
great
we
folks.
walked down there, and we paid to ride the rides, which were the bounce houses. He's in the bounce house business, but he had a couple new ones that I think if you are an adult and you are doing an adult themed party, they've got the new Velcro axe throwing and darts and others.
cool.
That's really cool. And then they got these giant 13-foot cornhole boards that got the big. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
it'd make a great pillow.
wow.
But he had a ton of great stuff out there. The kids were entertained. Our kids probably ran around for 2.5 hours. Their little legs just running and climbing and bouncing and made me tired. So tired I had to have an elephant ear and I had to have some ice cream. And
I heard that I did hear that actually, a friend of the program, one of my good buddies works down at the Parks Department. He said he fried elephant ears for quite some time last night.
I haven't had an elephant ear.
well, that's who was
4 or 5
working
years.
when I was there.
I don't like them.
Really?
Not
I
a
love
big
'em.
elephant ear guy.
I love them.
More of
I
a-
like them when they're a little doughy too.
I'm more of a funnel cake guy.
Yeah, I can see
Well, they're
that.
about the same thing.
No, they're not.
Well, and I saw our
I don't
buddy-
want to get into this with you because I got into it the other day about not knowing the difference between a waffle and
And
a
a pancake. And guess what? Guess
You're
what?
right. You're right.
I know.
Okay, so pancakes and elephant ears aren't the same thing. I get it.
well, that's apples and
These are
oranges.
funnel cake. Yeah, goofy.
That's what I meant. Funnel cakes and elephant ears.
Goofy butt.
Well, and also saw our buddy Chad Hunefeld because he's on the fair council.
Yeah, he is.
And so those
Head
guys,
cheese.
Always taking care of the daggone
community. Guy's a big community guy, and we appreciate that. But I got a chance to talk to Chad a little bit, and, I'm glad they made the right decision there. They got rid of the outfit there. They brought in Justin Reed, Jumping Jacks Entertainment. Kids loved it. It worked out pretty good.
Hell
Real
yeah.
happy with
Guys,
it.
there's a small risk that you take when you get on a fair ride. Like when you go to the Midway at a fair, you never judge a book by the cover. You never take
Did you ever buy like stink bombs from the carnies? Like little glass vials that you throw on
I
the ground?
never really conversated much with them. Smell like
Get
cabbage.
the Kid Rock pictures. The
They
Kid Rock
smell like
little.
cabbage, and they've got small hands. Now, them sons of bitches that were running the dart throwing game with the balloons for the Kid Rock
Wait,
pictures,
yeah.
the framed pothead pies and pans
Yeah,
and stuff
hell
like
yeah.
that. I never messed around with those guys. I
And
usually
the,
just
and the butterfly knives.
yes.
How did you all get with a butterfly knife from the carnival?
I may or may
I got
not.
a butterfly knife in the house, and I'll make you guys think, man, this guy's probably got cocaine in this.
This
pocket.
guy is straight
'Cause
out of the
I'm like-
movie. Stay Golden Pony Boy.
American Outsiders.
Outsiders. American Graffiti. No, what the hell is it called?
But yeah, so fair week. It was good. Thanks, fellas. And that ice cold opener was brought to you by our friends at Celebration Ice and our buddy, not Mark Siebert. Oh no, it's Siebert. Because everybody knows Celebration Ice is ice with attitude.
That ice cold opener was brought to you by our friends at Celebration Ice. Celebration Ice is the official ice utilized by the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. You look in the freezer in Smoker's Lounge, and it's a bag of Celebration Ice. Not only can you get the 7-pound and 20-pound bag at your local gas station, but Celebration does so much more with ice for special events, solid ice blocks, and even dry ice. If your local gas station doesn't carry Celebration Ice, demand it today.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. The Friday variety where we get into a little bit of everything and whatever we want.
I got 2 on the list.
Two dos listos.
And I want to get this off my chest right away so I don't ruin the whole show.
Well, I don't know.
Is it hair?
No.
Okay.
I don't have much chest hair.
I know you don't, big guy.
I do.
We had to put Ruby down.
Oh, God dang.
Yeah, that's tough.
There,
Buddy.
I said it. We had to put Ruby down.
It was time.
That's tough, brother. She's been along.
For everybody that listened to the show and that everybody that follows the show and knows me knows that Ruby's had a pretty rocky road the last year. She was, she's a Great Dane, standard poodle. Now, everybody that ever hears me say Great Dane poodle, they're like, how the f*** does that work?
Well, when
Does it
two
have
dogs,
to get like a stool or
when
something?
two
for
dogs
it?
love each other.
Man loves a woman.
That's it. But so it's a standard poodle, right? And so Justine
People
and
don't
I-
realize poodles are big dogs.
Yeah, they are big dogs. So we were looking for our first dog before, like when we first got married and built,
She's been around that long.
got our house and everything in Huntingburg.
Huntingburg.
We were like, let's get a dog. Let's try it. Let's try to be responsible for another life as a couple. So we got on the old interwebs and looked up for, I loved Great Danes, had Great Danes before. Justine didn't want a dog that shedded it a bunch. So we looked up these Dane doodles and come to find out my dog was not an F1. She was an F1, not an F2. So that means her mom was a Great Dane and her dad was a poodle. So that means she still shedded it. And she looked like a wiry, trashy, big dumpster dog.
I liked everything about it.
And I did too. And anyway, she had hip dysplasia really, really bad because that's a big dog breed deal. And yeah. Anyway, she couldn't walk it was just a tough thing. And losing a pet sucks, especially whenever they're older than your children. And, that's the first time as an adult that I've had to experience that. You know what I mean? Like, I remember as a child, being involved with putting a dog down and stuff like that, but never. I had a Cocker Spaniel as a child. Her name was Pepper, and she was littered with cancer. And, we had to go put Pepper down, and that was tough. But it wasn't like I say she was my dog, but it was never my dog. Ruby was my dog. She was my ride or die. She was my, I was the best friend. I was the man to her best friend thing. That best friend thing.
Yep.
But anyway, we did some casts of her paws. Might get one of them. I might get a tattoo. Might be my first tattoo.
Good. I'd like to see that first tattoo.
Yeah, might be my first tat. Haven't decided yet. But anyway, we did that. Janelle came down and helped us through the process, which that's what I told her. As I was a blubbering, bawling idiot, I said, this can't be any easier. This can't be any easier on you whenever you know the dog too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's, you guys have been out there forever, and Ruby was always a greet you at the mailbox kind of gal.
Yeah, she was.
And, but yeah, Janelle, she was choking up along with us. It was a lot of tears there, but I don't know. It was just like we wanted to involve the kids. We wanted them to experience it and everything like that, that was really, 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 really rough, But
Well, they need to know.
yeah,
that,
it is. It's sad, and it's something that they need to deal with because it's a part of life. You know what I mean? And that's why. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it. I still haven't made the whole Facebook post, about like Ruby crossing the Rainbow Bridge like everybody does with like all kinds of photos and shit like that. Like I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? Like I haven't.
Well, let's keep posting Wondering Dutchmen stuff.
Yeah, so that means that I've got about a week to figure that out.
Yeah, you'll get there
to get that posted.
Take your time, big guy.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Obviously, Rubes she had a good life.
Oh yeah,
and she lived it to the fullest.
She would have been 84 in human years or dog years. Yeah,
that's a good run. And the thing of it is it could have been a lot worse with that thing on her arm. That could have been a long time. Yeah, could have been a long time ago. You were doing
Janelle
this.
seemed to think that was probably the culprit to the end. Was that with that thing being on her leg, and it when Janelle removed it, and it took so long for it to heal, and because of her age, that it just never really fully healed, and she would obviously not leave it alone at all, ever, even with the cone. And then she got an onset infection, so then we went through 2 or 3 rounds of antibiotics and meloxicam, twice a day and all that shit. We were a geriatric old woman, you know what I mean, taking care of her. And then Janelle thinks that through her limping and with her hips being as shot as they were, she might have strained trying to get up or trying to keep her balance on the hardwood, that she had like a nerve prolapse. Yeah, in that front leg, because every time, like, that leg was gone, like it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
So it was time. It was a tough decision to make, but we made it. And Janelle reassured us about 300 times before she, pumped the old syringe in that we were making the right call. So
yeah, it is
tough call to make.
I went with her to do that on a dog. Friend of the program, Joe Ellis, when they put theirs down. And, I told her, don't call and ask me to help you again.
It's very peaceful.
It really is.
It was very peaceful. Like, she didn't.
No, well, because.
It wasn't.
The cocktail they use, and people don't realize this, but the same stuff they use to send dogs over the Rainbow Bridge is what they use for lethal injection for inmates, which is wild because when you see them, like, you hear these horror stories from these, death executions.
Some kind of barbital.
Pentobarbital.
Something.
Pentobarbital or something like that. But, it's the same cocktail. So, but, I don't know. It's, the thing of it is what's interesting, and not to change gears on that so much, but it's a tough thing when you watch, like, humans go through this. When they get the cancer and it's the late stage and those different things like that. And, obviously there's a lot of ways to fall on that. But I tell you what, ever since I experienced it, when you're there at the very end like that, it's tough sometimes. Like, you wish there was that option to go on your own terms for humans. In some states, they're working on that.
I know.
It's not to be a Debbie Downer on it. But
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And hey, and here we go. I'm reaching over. R.I.P. Ruby. I love you forever.
Shout out
I'll miss you.
R.I.P. Rubes.
I'll miss you a lot.
And serious T's and P's.
We'll get some photos. Justine took a really beautiful photo of her the day of. So we're thinking about getting that on a big old canvas. Put that on something real nice.
Yeah, let Rubes hang out there forever.
The kids wanted to get her. Kids want to get a tombstone for her.
Yeah, well,
we put her down by the lake because every time we'd go fishing, she would always gravitate to this one spot in the lake in the corner down there, and she would, because it's real shallow.
Yeah,
and she could walk her old ass in there and
do water aerobics,
cool off and whatnot, and then she'd sit there and chase frogs and dig up crawdads and all kinds of shit. So I put her down there in that area.
Yeah, good. Good for her.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but Trump got shot.
Man, that crazy old bastard is like, what the
Yeah.
And God dang, as much as I want to not like that guy for being an asshat, that was pretty badass.
Wasn't that... Now, I say this from a
just to clarify,
nonpartisan opinion.
we don't talk politics till we talk politics. But
And we're going to talk it.
This is a week late.
Yeah.
Obviously, we get it because how
Everybody
we
knows
record.
somebody tried to shoot Trump.
Yeah.
He's getting blamed as a hardcore conservative.
Who is?
The guy that pulled the trigger.
They said he was registered. That doesn't mean anything in my book.
They also said that he was tried to be on the rifle team.
And failed miserably.
And they kicked him out. Well, I wonder why.
Let's not lose sight of one thing, though, before we go on.
Yes.
There was an individual that was killed.
I'm just getting ready to look it up.
And that shouldn't be lost on all this. And that's the shameful part of it is there was somebody that was an innocent bystander that had nothing to do other than attending this rally. As a father, I think not little girls, but
Girls,
couple girls. And that's the part that, is very sad because obviously there was no backstop back there per se. The humans were the backstop.
Yep.
And so this guy doing what he did, took a father,
bitch.
Husband, somebody's brother.
And wounded other people.
Yeah, there was a couple
Other
of them.
than
Yeah.
DJT.
So, but I tell you what, it's wild how many people immediately went to go. And if Couch Guy was here, we could talk to him to maybe he could give us an update
If he's alive.
If he's alive, but that went straight to the keyboard and we're like, oh, it's a shame they missed. Yeah,
And Jack Black's catching the
Jack Black called it. You know what? And I'm not even a Donald Trump guy.
No, but here, Jack Black's catching the flack for it. And he made a public statement that they canceled their whole tour.
Well, he did that right away, but he laughed during the thing.
He's got a lot of him and Kyle Gass have a lot of things to discuss before they think about going on tour again.
Well, but here's the
I know.
thing:
He's got to say that to cover his ass.
there's that express.
And
if he laughed at the time, he thought Jack Black's not known for being a right wing conservative, going to vote Republican anyways.
No.
He's from Hollywood. None of
Now,
those
if
people
I
are.
said something real up, you guys would laugh out of sheer not
Freaking
awkwardness, probably awkwardness.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
God,
Well,
shut
but
this
not to
guy
that-
up.
But not to something like you didn't like. Not to that level though.
But how do you know that's not kind of what, like, if it caught up? Was there something in the headphones there? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a commercial.
Whoops.
It's just one of those things.
But I
Like,
think Jack Black has attended a Biden fundraiser, so that
They asked him to speak at the DNC. Yeah.
Yeah, they ought to go ahead and bring him out there because nobody cares what these Hollywood.
Now, do
elites
you
have
want
to
any more of
say.
this fruitberry wine?
you go ahead and finish that off. I got another bottle. It was too warm for me.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, you gotta have it chill there.
I like
Freaking wine snob.
I like chilled Walmart wine
Chilled Walmart wine.
with my barbecue and chocolate.
That's what I was going to say. It definitely says it on here, doesn't it?
But I don't know. Like it's the
Guys, I just want you to know that,
Does it not seem surreal?
yes, that's what I'm getting at.
Talk to me about it. Let me
After I'm
answer this.
trying-
I don't know what you're driving.
After I'm trying to
Like
get this cooler lit.
like so we were up at the resort and one of the guys was like, "Hey, did you see the news?"
we were at the Courage for Courtney
somebody
yeah, I
tried
was
to
texting you because
Yeah.
we got to talk about that later.
Yeah.
somebody tried to assassinate Trump. And we're like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And then you turn on the news and you watch it and you're like, "Holy shit!" Like somebody was
Yep.
mere inches away from ending
Inch
this
as
guy.
hell.
Well,
Quarter of an inch, and that dude was fudging toast.
here's the thing about it, and I told this to Janelle immediately. You talk to anybody that's a sniper that's done that on that level, you don't go headshots. Everything is center mass because you're going to have a better chance of ending it.
So there's so many graphics that are different, diagrams and I think the most prolific one for me was the one, and it was a 3D image of Trump talking into the
And
microphone.
he just happened to turn.
And that's exactly what I did when I was like every interview that we've ever done with these
talking to the mic.
with these directional microphones. He was talking into the mic. and he went to look at somebody. I believe it would have been on his right.
Well, there was a graphic he was turning to.
And he came, exactly, about the immigration shit.
Yeah.
And he went around the microphone to talk into it, and that's exactly when that son of a bitch. But here's the thing. That guy, that piece of shit loser, shot 8. There was 8 rounds missing from that 30
God,
rounds.
you missed the first one. You don't pull the trigger 7 times.
Oh, yeah.
That's like sitting in the woods on opening day here in Indiana.
Just
You
letting
hear,
her eat.
And guys do that anyways. They do it
You
anyways.
miss it on the first one, you ain't gonna get it on the next one.
Yeah.
You
Just
sorry shooting son of a bitch.
Yeah, just letting her eat.
Yeah, it's surreal.
But then it's a wild thing to think. And
well,
is this the first? So, okay.
Reagan would have been your last attempt
That we know of.
back in '83.
That we know of.
Yeah. Public attempt.
Okay, so this is where we would need Brado to come in on this, but that's what I just wondered.
Why would we need Brado?
Because he's a history buff and he's all in on the whole Kennedy stuff, and I just, assassinations and presidential stuff and all that.
Well, I just told you the last one back in '83. Bad thing of it is how is there that big of a breakdown? Like if you're security planning,
definitely good. So
if you're doing security planning,
What
how
did
is
we
there
talk
that
about?
big of a breakdown that you don't see this 130 yard, which breaks out to 390 feet? You say 410, but that's about right. I heard 130 to 140 yards. Something where you'd have a pitching wedge or 9-iron in your hands, just for our golfers
that's a
out there.
freaking chip shot for an AR-15,
And it just like it doesn't.
even with no like extreme magnified optics on it. Like, yeah. And that's the thing. And then so that was, we talked about the Secret Service guy getting robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Like, what in the, it's their, and did you see the poor woman? Did you see the video of the poor woman after they got Trump off the stage? And that
Trying to holster her gun?
It looked like she had never drawn her weapon in her life. And it's like they were so rattled. Now, granted, there was an attempted assassination on Donald J. Trump. I'm assuming that
But they were all on comms that should have been all
I'm
clear, shooter
assuming
down.
the stakes were pretty high. Now, let's not say for a minute that it was a calm, cool Sunday cruise. Let's just, we're going to eliminate that. But Jesus Christ, that's what they're there for. Like, that is their job. You are a Secret Service agent. And the amount of security and like overall like breakdown of all that is insane. The goddamn guy, God, it gets me fired up how stupid we are. The guy was on the roof and a police officer made contact with him. And the guy turned around with an AR and pointed it right back at the cop and basically told the cop to go F off. And the guy still made it up the roof and popped a shot off.
Well, that guy that was talking to the BBC was like, we were pointing at him. Like we were saying there's somebody up there.
That sniper had him, according to the internet. Now, everything's got to be true on the internet. But they said that dude, the sniper that eliminated the threat, had that kid in his sights for over 3 minutes. Now, explain me that.
I don't know.
And then they said that the thing that got me the most is that the head of the Secret Service, that woman, made the comment that they didn't put anyone on that roof because the pitch of the roof was too steep. Sloped. The slope was too steep for a sniper's position, where that kid actually made
Obviously, that was completely wrong.
That was 100% wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Convenient.
how do you get on the roof that close?
With a 5-foot ladder.
Yeah.
He bought a 5-foot.
There was I was talking, I don't know who I was talking to, but we were going through like how this occurs, like where there's that breakdown in training. And when you think about it, it's been 44 years, 41 years, since there was the attempt on Reagan. And those Secret Service agents that would have been there.
When did Bobby Kennedy get shot?
1969.
Bobby?
Yeah.
When did John get killed?
John got killed in 66.
Oh.
Wait, well, I don't know. I would need to fact.
We'd have to Google this one, but because didn't Bobby wasn't a president.
He was running for president.
He was running.
They've got a nephew now running, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They've got a something. Well, I guess he could be a unrelated, unaffiliated Kennedy, but there's a Kennedy from somewhere around.
1963 was JFK. So my whole theory was, in 63 they had JFK. So those guys that were part of the Secret Service or were part of that, they go back to where they train Secret Service agents, and they have that real life experience where they can say, this is where the breakdowns were, this is what happened. Then you have a time period there of 20 years where those people that are doing the training get out, that have that real world experience, and then you have 83 happen, and then you figure there was 40 years there where those people that were there for Reagan's are all gone pretty much, to where you have nobody, where you're training a hypothetical. You don't have that old grizzled vet sitting there.
Hey, real quick, so
president.
Brado doesn't eat me alive. Bobby Kennedy was shot in 68 by Sirhan at the Ambassador Hotel.
We should probably figure out who the Kennedy is running and how he's related
and
to
pronounced
John.
dead the following day. Robert F. Kennedy lies.
Well, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
mortally wounded
running
on the floor.
Is it?
I thought so.
That's probably. I really have been a terrible American as far as watching politics for the last 6 or 7 years.
How do you watch it? It's a circus.
I remember making a post about Trump, Hillary Clinton, and it wouldn't have been Obama because
It's Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah,
but it was the Three
Bobby's boy.
Stooges, and I made a little meme, almost a picture of the three presidential candidates and the Three Stooges, and ever since then it's just been a joke.
Yeah.
And I don't watch. I don't care.
Well, and like you said, coming from a non-political point of view, and just from a general non-partisan a view, it's tough. It is really tough.
I don't feel like a person's vote matters anymore because it's just
it's a tough deal.
There is a complete science to the election of it. I bet if you were in the Trump inner workings, just like Biden has it too, the inner workings of those, they can probably splice it down to the county level of what they need in a handful of states.
for sure.
There is probably
That's why they schedule their rallies where they schedule them.
There is probably less than 5 or 6 states that are actually in play to change the outcome of the election. And you would be surprised that a lot of them, like you look at Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then kind of the rest almost, Ohio's not been as purple as what it once was. Pennsylvania.
And you know what that is? Industry. It's all industry. Are you a working person or are you not a working person? I'm not trying to paint.
Well, it depends what kind of
funny
work
line.
you're
Well,
doing.
no, but the swing states are always states that are split between heavy industry, and industry could be farming or anything else, or heavy. Good grief! Like Indy, there's not a lot of industry in Indy anymore. Indy's businesses, and there's a whole lot of office jobs, but Indy doesn't have near the good grief. What's the word I'm looking for, guys?
Well,
I mean, it is manufacturing, but it isn't. There's not as many concrete jobs in Indianapolis as there once was. And you get to all these states like Ohio that used to be a huge steel state. So you had a lot of agriculture.
but you know what this...
And then along the lakes, you had all this, the steel manufacturers, and then towards Pittsburgh.
Which were all union, which all is traditionally voted Democrat. And you don't have...
That's a wild thing.
Well,
Why?
Democrat.
I don't know.
Democrat in 1960 is different than Democrat in 2000.
Democrat in 1960 is a moderate Republican.
And I don't.
That's
hey,
right.
That's what I'm
exactly
saying.
right.
Did you? And I don't. I'll dip my toes in the water.
Our
and say,
Kennedy Democrats is what they call them.
Did you know that 90? I don't know. I don't know the actual, but a huge portion of the original KKK members were all big-time Southern Democrats. I'd say the reason why Trump was in Butler, Pennsylvania, was because it's
but it's northwestern Pennsylvania. He should have had an issue there.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'll tell you the
Very
battleground
red,
is in and around Pittsburgh.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. The battleground. Yeah. I wondered if what is it? Why do they? What is a battleground state? Like, what are they? The ones, I guess, if you were a Republican and you were trying to rally in the battleground states, that would be a state that is usually predominantly blue. Is that it?
It's a battleground state. Is that you could win it or you could lose it?
I know, but if you were a Republican and you were running against a Democrat, obviously, I would figure that a battleground state would be something that you would want to battle to get that.
Your question on battleground state is just a state that is close enough within a margin of error that you could, depending on voter turnout, win when you wouldn't maybe necessarily normally win it. That's a battleground state. So it's not like where they're going to go. It's just where there's a close enough margin where you could possibly, let's say they don't get the turnout. Traditionally, what it is, if you don't get the turnout in inner cities, which predominantly vote blue,
manufacturing states,
then you're red because you almost look at any election map. The major metropolitan areas are these little blue dots, but there's a lot of people that live in those little blue dots.
Yeah,
more than the rest of the state that generally is red.
Exactly.
Moving on from politics, because we don't talk politics until we do. Two very interesting things at the stoplight out front of the resort this week. So over the weekend, we were going up to the die, and I had to run to the ATM. So I was turning left.
Yeah, you did.
Onto 56.
Say that freaking caddy tip.
Yeah, well, hey, Tyler Jordan, our buddy Tyler Jordan was the guy.
Oh,
so he did a great job.
Nice.
But there was
what'd you shoot?
Not good. Didn't get up and down very well. There was some old guy.
So what's the number?
I don't want to talk about it. There was some old guy with his lady, and they were in a Cadillac.
Of course they were.
And they run this red light where it was pure green. Like, it wasn't close. Like, that baby was pure green. Like, I was itching to go out. And old boy driving didn't have a clue. But his poor passenger, his probably poor sweet dear wife, was having an aneurysm in the front seat. Because I looked like I started to kind of inch out so you could turn left there.
She backhand him.
And I look, and she's going bananas, and it's just like he's out for a Sunday drive. And she just...
Where we at on that one?
Yeah. And I gave the horn a little toot, like a... Uh-oh. And you could just see her, like, she just... God damn it, Bob! Like, just chewing his ear. And he was like, that woman just yelled at me for nothing. But it'd been green. Like, it wasn't even close.
No.
And then we had it today. I was turning left again out of there. And there was a van in front of me. And so when that light goes out, turning left, there's no, like, turn light there. It just turns green. You got to wait for cars turning right, cars coming straight, or cars turning left. And this van just guns it. Just guns it through there. There's people turning right. There's people trying to come straight and left. And so I'm sitting there dying laughing because this car, like, legitimately squealed tires, pure just jumped out there. Everybody else is going to stop. And so the guy that was coming in, that was trying to come straight, I'm just sitting there and laughing. And I see he rolls his window down and he was like, what the was that? And I was like, I don't know. They were just in a hurry to get there. But yeah, it was, but that little old lady, like, she knew what was going on.
Good for her. Take her for holding
And
up.
old boy over there driving, he had no clue what was going on. So, like we talked about, we were at the fair. So, Smoke, you would be happy. We went and watched the horses run around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like animal numbers looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just hard to think about, like, what the fair once was. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Like, where did those people go that participated? Like, they just...
They're not... They
They
don't...
move 3.5 hours southwest and never go back.
That would be him, Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
From Richmond.
Yeah. I don't know. So I just remember going to the demo derby. I remember going to the fair to either fight or look for girls, or, stuff like that. Like when I was in high school, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't fighting as a 10-year-old or nothing like that. But I mean, we always tore up the Midway, begged mom and dad for for a $10 bill to buy the old unlimited armband, and we'd go after it, riding the zipper and the the Gravitron and all the whole works.
You know, I found one of those for sale on eBay a couple years ago.
What
It
was the
still
price
like
tag?
$8,200.
the Gravitron.
That was my jam.
Oh, I love it, dude. The radio or the music just absolutely cranking.
Metallica always playing on that.
Yeah,
Some
and then them
AC/DC.
seeds, the sliding, they slide up. You know that whole deal.
You just stand there. And
Yeah, let her eat, and I'll give you $100 if you can touch that handrail out there, you big bitch. You know what I mean? Like, and you couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah, no.
There's no way you could.
I really
But you
wanted
know,
to buy
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Did you guys go up?
Oh yeah, to this year?
Yeah.
No, hell no,
Did you guys?
I haven't been in a while.
no. Just say I've.
It kind of it makes me sad to go to the
Yeah.
4-H fair. Not
I kinda me too.
In 4-H and not.
I don't think
the kids are great with sports in school. They don't need no distraction.
Well, that's what Janelle and I
Yeah.
talked about is kids are so involved in so many things.
they don't
now
have a
that there's
summer
no
anymore.
break to where you could do this kind of stuff.
Right, exactly.
And I think they changed some of it because used to, you talk to any of them old timer 4-Hers, they loved camping out up there because it was one big party for a week,
that's what I'm saying.
and it's gone.
The tug of war, the parties in the cattle
and it's
barn.
not changed because kids of my grade that played sports couldn't come and hang out for the whole week. They were there for one night or two.
Yep.
Or they'd be there for the night but have to leave before anybody got up in the morning.
Yep.
I don't think it's changed, but I wouldn't ask my kids to do it. If you can't commit to it and make it the lifestyles,
The last
not
time
worth doing.
I think we went to the fair was when the kids were little, and we did the whole goat barn and the sheep barn and everything else, and go to the swine barn and look, try not to get killed when you're walking through the cattle. Because I think we screwed up one time, went to the cattle barn when they were like moving them. And Justine did not like that because the twins were in strollers.
Really?
And here come these she doesn't know, you know what I mean? Like a fair cow is not your normal cow. You know what I mean? Like a fair cow is
It's different.
they have been literally halter broke since they were able to come off the teat or bottle fed, the whole works. Like they're like big dogs. You know what I mean? Like they don't.
Yeah.
Now some of them can get a little contrary. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah.
Just
Get
they're
little
still
cantankers.
they're still animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
No, we. I don't know. The kids
Haven't
like
been in a
going and
while.
seeing animals, and
Yeah.
we support the Huntingburg Optimists there with their tenderloins up there. But
Ooh, did they still have the German tenderloin in there?
oh, I didn't pay any attention.
So you know what a German tenderloin is?
it's just
Grilled.
Does tenderloin.
Grilled with bacon.
they had a grilled tenderloin, but I don't know about bacon. I didn't pay too much attention.
Really good.
Yeah, we went there. Hey, let's take a quick pause though.
Do it.
And we're going to bring you that pause with a live ad read because it is us sponsoring Overboard on September 13th at
The Holland Fest.
the Holland Fest.
That's right.
And where's the Holland Fest at, Smoke?
Holland.
Park.
Oh, boy.
Come up to the main stage in the beer garden. They also have a family room on Friday. Friday.
September 13th. Our buddies, Alan and Derek of Overboard, will be on the stage rocking the night away. It's going to be a blast. Smoke's going to have 100 beer tickets to hand out. We're going to have to find those
Maybe.
beer tickets. He may drink them all by the time you get there, but it's going to be one big blast. And the cool thing about it is that is when the Wondering Dutchmen also have
The barbecue
backyard
competition.
barbecue competition that'll
Right.
be going on.
Got it some-
So there'll be a lot of cooks getting started. Main stage is probably going to close down like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but
don't tell the Holland Committee Fest that.
Officially.
Officially.
We'll be
We'll be down at the cabin.
We'll be down at the cabin.
Maybe.
We'll be down at the cabin.
We'll be
Maybe
down
an
at the
acoustic
cabin.
show.
Yeah.
Cooks will be getting going. It'll be a great time.
A lot of interesting things going on with the barbecue competition. I may or may not have some tricks up my sleeve.
Oh, there you go.
So strap in and stay tuned for developments.
We'll be right back. All right, fellas, we are back, and it is time, thanks to our buddy Brad Ohanian.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Hell of a guy.
He sends us cold pizza.
What a great dude.
Sends us cold pizza.
He sent us warm pizza. We just start late.
Oh, he sent us some pizza from the Gaslight, our buddy. Oh, hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys. I saw our buddy Todd, Uncle Todd, this week.
That is right.
Uncle Todd was down to do a show for the Indiana Sheriff's Association. So we sat down and chatted. His calendar's
Is
pretty
he going to
free.
come hang out or
We're working on something this fall. I got to talk to our buddy John
believe
up
it
at the
when I
Gaslight,
see it?
and he'll be down. He said he's ready to hang. He wanted me to make sure he told you guys he says hi. He sends his love, and he was surprised you've gotten into the vino.
No.
He was shocked by that. I said we still give him shit about him puking in your backyard.
I was going to say, at least, yeah, he's probably still shocked from.
That's
David.
probably the last time I barfed, and it wasn't because I was drinking. I don't know what it was about
It was
that.
because of the Ozempi's
Oh yeah, that's
and
what it
and the
was.
pizza.
Yeah.
You were on Ozempic then?
Yeah.
No clue.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
On the fat shots.
Yeah. All right. It is time
That's what they call it. I don't know.
for Brado's three big
I
things.
don't think you're fat.
Brought to you by Merkley and Suds, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. This segment is brought to you by Merkley and Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. Have you ever bought a 30-pound box of bacon at one time? Well, I did, and it was quite the experience. Opening up that box of fresh Merkley's bacon, knowing that there was 30 pounds of deliciousness in there, my goodness, what a deal. Be on the lookout next time so you can share in the same experience that I had. First thing for the week of July 14th, the Black Plague making a comeback. We've talked about this.
That.
A rare case of plague has been confirmed in a person in Pueblo County, Colorado.
Freaking rats.
Officials said on Tuesday. The plague is an infectious disease caused by a bacterium, Yersinia pestis, transmitted by fleas. Although it is best known for the Black Death, an outbreak that killed millions of Europeans during the Middle Ages, the bacteria circulates naturally among wild rodents and rarely infects humans today, according to the CDC, which we can't trust them. Obviously, according to Brado, this was an era you'd probably want to stay away from, but have the Dutchmen ever wondered what era they would like to grow up in? Roaring 20s, hippie 60s, the Wild West cowboy era.
Yep.
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I'd pick the 70s, like with my old man. Fast cars and
I'm a Wild West guy, wider.
that's right.
I think I went back to the Revolutionary War days,
Something
didn't I?
like that, yeah.
Kind of had a historical significance
Yeah.
to it. Man stopped at customs with 100 live snakes down his pants.
He deserved it.
Officers
his
in
britches?
Officers in China caught a man trying to smuggle
I got a one-eyed
dozens
snake
of
in my
snakes
britches.
through customs by stuffing them in his pants.
Just one.
This is the kind of headline that writes itself. Enjoy this one, Dutchman. Ain't no way I'm putting 100
I
snakes
got a
in my britches.
one-eyed snake in my britches, and there ain't no room for any two-eyed snakes in my
Heard
britches.
it was more of a worm.
Yeah, well,
Larva.
get over it. Caterpillar. Why in the hell would he stuff 100 snakes down his britches? Does it say what kind of snakes or where he was? Well, I need more info.
Well, we were in China.
Well, let me tell you.
say no more. Then he was heading to the butcher shop.
Let me tell you what this is. He stuck 100 snakes down his pants so his gal could get by with like some sort of Chinese bam bam in her hoo-ha.
You reckon?
Mm-hmm. It was a diversion.
You reckon? Yeah, the old.
'Cause why else would you stick even
what's it
two
called?
snakes in your pants?
The Iron Horse. What was that?
No, you're thinking of the Trojan horse.
Trojan Horse. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, well, see, he had officers found 6 canvas drawstring bags sealed with tape in the pockets of his pants.
Oh, baby snakes.
Officers opened the bags that found each bag contained a number of live snakes in various shapes and colors. After counting, a total of 104 snakes were found. 5 species were later identified: the milk snake, the western hognose snake, corn snake, Texas rat snake, and bull
Hog-nosed
snake.
growler.
4 of which are non-native to China. None of the species is venomous. The statement said the incident occurred a few days, but did not specify when.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, his old lady was smuggling, heroin.
So he was probably wearing
Fentanyl.
he's probably wearing cargo
One of
britches.
A snake belt.
I was thinking one of those beach
Not a-
suits that I wanted us to wear for pictures at that swamp down there.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this guy practiced the ancient art of kung fu and had the loose-fitting black britches on.
Yeah, just for his snakes to dangle.
Bingo. Airbnb hidden cameras. An investigation has found that Airbnb, one of the world's largest short-term rental companies, consistently fails to protect its guests despite knowing that hidden cameras are a persistent concern within its industry. Thousands of images have been recovered from rental hosts by law enforcement. Hidden cameras placed in bedrooms and bathrooms show guests during their most private moments, changing clothes, being with other children, even doing the old dirty. Oh boy, do the Dutchmen consider Airbnbs when traveling, or are you more hotel goers?
Casey, I know that you're an Airbnb guy, and I've definitely
Not true. We're Verbo.
Verbo.
Same thing.
Isn't it? Is this the same thing, or is it
Different
strictly
company,
right?
Oh,
But is
but
this
good
article
grief, it's like-
specific to Airbnb
It says, I mean, yes.
or of like companies?
It just says
services.
Airbnb.
I think it's personal rentals.
I haven't. So I have done that several times. Airbnbs, VRBOs, all that shit. Really like it. And if my little wiener shows up on the internet somewhere, then so be it. But I'd probably crack some skulls if my old lady's rack showed up on the internet somewhere. You know what I mean? Because that's bullshit. I don't like that at all. So
Well, now I feel like less of a person because that whole time we were in the swamp, I thought there might be a camera between that private bathroom and the bedroom. So I was real sure that if they were looking, they were going to see something.
well, if
There wasn't going to be anything they were going to write home about.
I will tell you this from experience. If there was a camera in that bathroom with the clawfoot tub, my wiener would have already been on the internet.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at. So I don't know. That's a wild deal, man. That whole voyeurism thing, and that it's a very.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
So you're in there. They could do the same thing at a Holiday Inn
Right.
or a Hyatt Regency.
Right.
Especially the way technology is going. You just got to own it.
Right.
Everybody does weird shit when nobody's looking.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really try to think if I'm going to do weird shit or something that's going to look weird, I'm going to own the shit out of it. And nobody's going to put that on the internet
That's
because
wild.
look at me. Who's going to put this on the internet?
There's a
These
market.
sweet tattoos
There
and
might be a market for it, man. You never
this
know.
overflowing manliness.
So how do you check for that stuff?
You don't.
Well, that's not entirely.
You got to get a camera-o-meter.
Now, if there's anything with infrared, just for example, turn the phone on your camera. Strike that and reverse it. Turn the camera on your phone. Now, Wanderers, what I'm having him do is turn the camera on his phone. Now, see the end of this remote here? Can you see it in the vision there?
Yeah.
Now, if I push the button, do you see a light lighting up?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's infrared. That's what an IR remote does. Now, see, it ain't catching it up there.
Do it again. Let me see it over here on this side. I'll be a son of a bitch.
Yep. So that's what night vision is. If you go into a place that's dark and you're thinking there's cameras, you turn on your camera phone that you can see on, and if there's infrared cameras, you'll see
Which
that
you almost have to have an infrared camera.
in the dark. So when you go into a hotel room, you turn on your video on your. Do you not do this?
You're blowing my mind
Jesus
right now,
Christ,
dude.
you
I
guys
have
are f***ing wild.
I have never heard this before in my life, David.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody online, look at the end of. Here, we'll do this one. Look at the end of this one. So if you
That's
go in
crazy.
there, you turn on your iPhone camera, and you swap it around, and you'll see. Now I'm pushing a button, so you're going to see the lights flashing. But if it was a IR camera with night vision, it'd just be a whole bunch of little lights shining there, and
Which
that
is
kinda
what it would have to be.
purplish color that they typically are for IR night vision.
Unbelievable.
Gosh, I thought that was like common
Mind blown. Love
common
it.
knowledge.
Love it.
Because if you don't, because the reality of it is you have to have infrared on those because they wouldn't be able to record at night.
Yeah,
But much to like your guys' chagrin, they ain't going to see anything that looks great.
yeah, you got to
So,
be pretty close to get something on this old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brado. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Thank you for the pizza that you sent last week when you recorded this.
And a couple weeks before that.
And a couple weeks before that. I mean, it was only 4 slices and it's nothing, but it's okay. There we are. Here we go. It is finally over. It is time for the old swan song. One more lap not lap. We don't say that anymore. One more trip around the table for the fellas to kind of wrap the show up. And it is brought to you proudly by our buddy Todd Hayes of Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair.
The final trip around the table is brought to you by Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair of Huntingburg. Todd Hayes and the fellows are ready to assist you. Is your house hot and it shouldn't be? Probably need to get that looked at. Is your air conditioner making funny noises? Something else you probably ought to get looked at. Todd and the crew stand ready to assist you in keeping your house cold for you and, of course, the rest of your household. Give Todd a call today at 812-630-5719.
There it is.
There it is. We want to appreciate Todd for his support. New sponsor. Come on board. Todd's right there at the end of First Street in Huntingburg. You got issues going on, give him a call today. I know he's been out to our home to do some work when we did our part. So give Todd a call today. Big fella, wrap up 256 with some final thoughts.
So just to get into it real quick, I'll take a little bit of airtime here to tell you about how awesome the Courage for Courtney benefit was. When Justine and I walked in the door, we went into the check-in table to get our meal tickets. And the first thing that her and I did when we locked eyes after we got our meal tickets were say, holy shit, look at all these people. Like I never dreamed that place would be as packed as what it was. And it was awesome. Yeah. The vibe, the energy, it was just it felt like an old fashioned wedding reception. You know what I mean? Everybody's happy. The beers are flowing. The food line was out. The whole exterior wall on the north. Yeah. The north and the east wall of that building was full of silent auction items.
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to our buddy Chop Schmidt. I wanted to tell everybody that Chop Schmidt is literally one of the best dudes I've ever met. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, like he has all the shit that he ever would need, but he ended up bidding on that.
I wouldn't even think of that. He's still the best dude I ever met. But
bidding on that cooler.
Wonder if he enjoyed the game tonight.
He didn't go because he texted me and he's like, "Hey, do you want these tickets back? Because I'm not going. I just want to hang out." But that right there is just a true testament. Chops has dealt with pancreatic cancer in his family before, and he knows what that family's going through. And I told him, I said that you didn't have to do that. And he's like, yeah, I know. I didn't have to do it. Nobody wanted to. But I wanted to. And he said, I want to give back when I can. And it's just it's an awesome. It was insane to see the amount of people like literally pouring out their heart and money and mostly their money, for a family that's going to need it. You know what I mean? And it's just a true testament of, where we live. And, small town USA, God's country, or whatever cliche little saying you want to say. But, man, if you ever, we'll help if we can. You know what I mean? It's like if you need anything, don't be too proud to ask. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of other people had a lot of things to do with this, like the whole Courtney's Fight crew. There were people walking around with
lots going on.
It was insane, man. They raffled off 5 guns. They raffled off, like I said, the whole building was full of shit, and it was hot ticket items. Like there was a lot of really, really good stuff. The resort graciously donated that Pete Dye experience, and the Donald Ross there, not the Donald Ross, but the Pete Dye experience. That went for over $1,000. I mean, there was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a lot of.
I'll let the fellows.
a lot of hot ticket items that went for a lot. Like people showed out, and I'll be anxious to see what. Which is none of my business, but it's just a curiosity conversation point on how much like something like that would bring. Like after it was all said and done, and the whole shooting match, the food was good. Like everything. I think Oink and Company, big shout out to our friends at Catering by Meyer. They did the potatoes and the beans. I mean, it was just it was an awesome collaboration of so many super awesome people The music was really good. Debbie Sheets, she got out there and cranked it out during dinner. And
Feller
then,
I know with
what the hell's their band name? Dadgummit.
Keep on Trail.
Keep on Trail. That's exactly right. Which we ought to get those fellers in to have a chat
Just
sometime.
talk to him today. Didn't invite him to the show, but he knows he's always welcome.
But anyway, I got a friend of mine that's looking for some entertainment and trying to book some shows, and I actually asked him for a business card, and the guy's like, well, we don't have any business cards, but David Smoker knows who I am. So
he told me he talked to you.
Right. So, I mean, anyway, man, like I said, Courtney, I'd never met Courtney before in my life.
Really?
I'd never met her before. And Rusty, she had reached out to me early in the game when we first started talking about the event and everything like that. And she said, I know you don't know me, and I know you've never met me, but she said, I really, really, really want to give you a hug. Because you really seem like a dude that probably would give a good hug. You know what I mean? And, like it's just...
Can confirm.
Just awesome, what you guys have done for me and my family and this whole deal, So when we went, I was talking to Rusty for a minute. Courtney was, off, talking to other people and stuff. And Rusty was like, dude, if you leave here without giving her a hug...
You're getting arrested.
I'm gonna throw you in jail. But I tracked her down. I was able to give her a big ass hug, and we got the chance to talk to her for a minute. And she said, "You guys literally couldn't have hit the nail more square by saying it's just a shit hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything to avoid it. It's just that she was dealt a shit hand." And it's a tough spot. She said, you guys say it all the time, but it is so true.
Yeah.
That it's just a tough spot. I was dealt a shit hand, and I just got to own it, and I got to deal with it and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
And Courtney, if you're listening to this, we hope for the best for you. You're an absolute warrior. You looked beautiful, bald. I'll say it, You still had that pretty smile in your eyes and everything like that. I don't know. Like it was an awesome event. I'm super glad that you were there and you were able to be there. Rusty said she was having a good day.
That's good.
And those good days, like I said, don't let the bad days win. That's what their shirts say.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not only is that true in her situation, but it's true in every situation. But
it's
yeah.
I met Courtney because she worked for the sheriff's department at the jail doing transport.
Yep.
And just never seemed to be happy. Like always a frown on her face. And then got to know her. And then, and I think that, I don't know how long her and Rusty have been married. But I think it was prior to her getting married, maybe. But she was always great, always fun to talk to when she was doing jail transport. Because I'd be like, hey, what are my clients saying? And she just, hell, they're not, not happy with you. Like, why are they still in jail? Or she'd tell me, if I had a problematic one, she's like, you're going to have your hands full with this one. But, that ecosystem that you live in as a defense attorney in jail transport.
What a shit, man.
And I'm glad, I'm glad you were able to go and represent us.
Right.
And I know those guys.
Everybody asked. I bet I got asked 50 times, hey, where's the other two yahoos? And I'm like, well, boys.
I've got terrible social anxiety, and I wasn't drunk enough to get there.
That's exactly what I said. I said, number one, Casey's on a golf trip with his family, his wife and friends. And Smoker's at home watching the boys because he's a hermit.
Yeah.
And he hates
people don't realize this about our buddy Smoke.
He hates big crowds.
Yeah.
I'm good if I'm drunk, but I heard there's going to be a shit pot of cops there.
Hey, and literally I told that to the real police chief of Huntingburg. I said, hey, don't tell nobody, but when Justine and I leave here, we're going to go rob the bank because all the cops are here. But no, and that, guys, listen, everybody said the same thing. They understand people are busy, life's tough, and you can't make it to everything. But we had a good time,
glad,
and that it all worked out.
And I know, like, I talked to Brad at the his boy played in the MFL.
Yeah,
and we were talking about it. And he's like, "You guys went above and beyond what you did." And no, we didn't. we sit here and talk like
we sit here and
fools.
drink beer and bullshit and just talk about something
And-
that some friends of ours are going through, and we
Yeah.
want people to know
And
about
if we-
it. And
if
have
we
the platform
help-
to do it.
If we help publicize that, if we help, some people go that may not, obviously the auction items, there was 2 there that was pretty good for them.
Yeah,
That come from us. I mean, one's from the resort.
they sold 5. They raffled 5 pews,
Yeah.
and they did the card raffle.
Ooh.
And they
Like the old coal mine.
the old coal mine raffle deal, and they sold 52 tickets
That's awesome.
at $20 a ticket.
That's nice.
That's $1,040 per pew.
I tell you what, look at old Rain Man over there. Real
So
proud.
they did really well, guys.
But you know what? If my big ass was in some sort of dire straits,
we'd do
there'd
the
be
same goddamn thing for you.
you
buddy.
wouldn't. Somebody would though.
Right.
Like somebody and
Right.
this
Well, we
part
would.
of
What do you
God.
mean I wouldn't? I'd be leading the damn. I'd be driving the bus, bud.
Who the would edit the show?
Well,
we call Arlo.
we know people. Curtis
I'm
Crow,
just saying, I might.
Arlo
not-
Donhauer.
Yeah.
we'd have figured it out.
Right.
This is just the best place to live.
And you know
Amen.
what? And Courtney, if you ever feel up to it and you want to come sit for a show,
Hell
Get
yeah.
drunk and talk shit on a microphone. I'll
can-
make you sing karaoke.
Hell yeah.
we could. This is a promise, and I know Rusty listens, and if Courtney's listening, but if you guys want to come to a show,
Hell yeah.
if you want to come to a show, we will make it work till we record at a time that works for you guys.
Exactly.
Probably would have to be on a Saturday or Sunday, but
Don't judge me for drinking in the morning.
yeah, it probably no judges here.
But hey,
We'd love to have you guys in line.
Yeah.
that's my final thought. Thanks, everybody. Peace, love, and positivity. T's and P's to my OG dog, Ruby. Justine and I and the whole family, the kids, we're going to miss you dearly. And I love you guys.
Love you too, buddy. Smoke Dragon.
Good grief. May said it, man. Love your neighbors, love your brothers. That's all I got.
Hey, love you too, brother. Big thank you to our buddy Kyler Henry, K&J Insurance, just over next door there in Petersburg. Give him a call today. Be willing to help you set up, whether it's business, it's Medicare, it's home, it's auto, it's boat, it's RV, it's side-by-side. If you can insure it, they sell it. Big thank you to our buddy Mark and Celebration Ice for that ice cold opener, because if it's not Celebration Ice, then
F you.
bingo. Yep. Big thank you to us promoting Holland Fest. You're welcome, Holland Fest Community Festival folks. Our buddies Overboard taking the main stage on September 13th.
Friday.
Harmonica.
Friday.
As well
I've been
as
practicing.
the
second-
backyard
the
barbecue
second
competition. Which you should see some stuff out here soon about that. And a big thank you to Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair. Our buddy Todd Hayes down there on First Street. Getting them boys. He's got a couple young ones in the shop. He's teaching the ways.
That's
too.
right.
Hell yeah.
But if you
Real
need
good.
to get a quick fix, whatever you got going on, give Todd a call. My final thought is this. Take time to get away every once in a while, because you need to do it. I can't tell you the last time Janelle and I, it was just her and I away from the madness and the mess. We had a nice trip. I got to play 54 holes of golf. Back really felt it on Monday.
I guarantee it.
But she
That's
was
what
able.
she said.
She was able to lounge around the pool, get a nap in, not be attached to those kids.
Yeah.
Because God loved those kids. They're attached to mom, even though I try as hard as possible to help out. But it was a good trip for us. Obviously, a good trip with who we went with.
You deserve it.
But it's good to get back to the kids, because I had a real profound thought that my 6-year-old just don't need dad a whole lot anymore. And then I was like, the 4-year-old still needs dad quite a bit, but he's on that sliding scale and not needing dad anymore.
Don't be long.
And then that first bad feeling of parenting where you're like, that stage is almost over.
Next thing you know, they'll be driving.
Oh, boy. Well, but Smoke's quite a bit older than us,
Well,
like 20 years.
that's not true.
I know it's not. Hey, a lot of
I
love.
don't look it.
A lot of love
Love you guys.
to Rusty and Courtney.
Love them.
It doesn't stop now just because the event's over. We're not just throwing you out like yesterday's meal.
Nope.
Yeah, you're coming on the show next.
Coming
Yeah.
on the show next, we got 2 microphones. You can come in and chat and you can talk about whatever in the hell you want.
Get some turntables.
And we'll go from there. But hey,
there we go.
Dutchman out.